This is a short screencast to capture what faculty and staff and supervisors would see as they work through the Community Service Leave Request Form approval process. This is still in draft form, so everything goes to me, but it's pretty quick and easy to switch it over for supervisor approvals. So when anyone gets to the form, they would see the Community Service Leave Request, noting that why we're using it to request approval from supervisors and so that the CEOC can start documenting service hours for institutional reporting. It's got a little bit of the language from the policy and procedures that's easily updatable once we know the official format of both. It does say why a supervisor might deny a request, but again, that can be changed with the wording once we finalize it. They will have to choose initially if they are a faculty member, staff member, or one of the approvers, so to speak. Part of the challenge that we had here was if someone in the supervisor category wanted to log their hours and let their supervisor know, they can still do that through that third option. But I'm going to take you through the faculty member role first. So once they've selected that, they are then in the section that is devoted strictly to faculty. They'll have to give pretty standard information, name, V number, and identify their associate dean or program director. I'm assuming that associate dean is the parlance for the new roles, but again, that can be edited. They'll then identify the organization they're going to be using the service hours for, the name, the address, and a contact person. I'm trying to figure out if we need to find a way to let them know that we're not going to be checking up on people. This is just in case we have problems and need to verify that the activities are going to support the mission and aren't something that is religiously, politically motivated, something like that. The planned activity and the date or dates of service, they're also included. The number of hours to be used, faculty receive an additional line notifying them that they have to have 4-hour increments selected there. And if there are any additional notes as explanation, there's a spot for those as well. They can select to send the copy of the responses as normal. Once they submit, then, it's asking for edits to that. So let me go back to this and show what it looks like when it's received. When it goes into the email, the faculty will receive the supervisor will automatically receive a community service leave request from, and that will list the name of the faculty member who's made the request in the subject line. This should keep it from threading in conversation format. The email body itself will have the information needed. A request has been received, name, V number. Most of the contents that were put in there, they don't need to identify the supervisor name again. The activity planned, all of that, the stuff that the supervisor would need to know in order to make decisions on coverage for their department and the like. To inform the faculty member of your decision, click here. This pushes them back into the same form that was filled out, the one the faculty member just left, basically. At this point, they would then select this. It's auto-selected already, but it won't be for them. When they click Next, they are able to choose. Are you requesting your own, or are you reviewing a request? In this instance, they're reviewing a request. Hopefully, they'll be able to keep that straight. When they click Next, they choose how they're going to approve. There's verbiage at the top that says they need to determine if the activities are essential functions of the employee's position, because those are not eligible. It also says that all activities must support the mission. If you deny a request, you have to plan for an alternative time with the employee. Notice of the approval or denial will be automatically sent to the employee requesting leave. So this will, I'll show you how that works in a moment, but it will produce a document for the employee to use as documentation for that. It also gives a little bit on how much they can use as well. The approved as submitted, approved with alterations, or denied are, they have to tick one of those boxes. Underneath that, if you're approving, note with alterations, note changes. If you're denying, provide reasoning. These are optional, but we might want to put some verbiage in that says they need to explain what the alterations or the denial reasoning is. Otherwise, when they submit, another email comes through that goes straight to the faculty who made the request. In this case, your recent request for community service leave has received a reply. The attached document serves as a record of the request and your supervisor's reply. Please review it carefully. This is cut off, but it says, if your CSL has been approved, log the hours via time or leave reporting. Then this is an automated email. Everything comes to me. If you have questions about the approval process, please refer them to your supervisor. What faculty would then see is an attachment that is the document that is a record of their request. It has all of that entry information, and we can snazz this up and format it so it looks lovely and official. Under that, there's a little bit of the verbiage that comes from the policy and procedure. Again, this is easily changeable. But this would be then the document that faculty would have on hand. I could, of course, push this out to the supervisors as well. Once all of this is logged, we had mentioned we wanted the ability to push yearly reports to VPs. I can do that as well. I haven't formatted those reports yet, but what we have here is just one day's work in getting this set up. If we feel that this is scalable to our institution, it's easy enough just to roll it straight in. Well, let me go ahead and show the same bit from the staff side. If a staff member starts, and I will need to enter here, forgive me for the taps. Let's do this. This is required to be a number. If I try to type something else, and it will not let me. Once it's submitted, it will then come through. Let me see if it'll come through quickly. Into the supervisor's inbox again. Shouldn't take very long. There it is. It's pretty much that quick. That supervisor receives the same thing and comes in and does the exact same approval, checks that they are supervisor, reviewing a request, and they can approve it as submitted, deny it, whatever the case may be, and submit through. The receipt of the document takes a few minutes more. Sometimes it can go as much as 5 minutes. Sometimes it's a little quicker than that. But it would be basically the exact same thing. If we were an associate dean, program director, supervisor, administrator who is requesting their own, I need to do this differently. They are requesting their own community service leave. They get pushed to the same kind of form, although they can tick their supervisor. It's the same information, and it would then go to their supervisor for approval. That document has been received. Again, it's the same verbiage, same information. It's the exact same format for the document. So this would allow some consistency across the board, and all of the input information in one place. Let me know if this looks like it's going to be a workable solution, or if we want to go ahead and use one of the more costly solutions. Thanks.